Okay, question 1. They give us this function, and a is 26, and in the directions they ask us to find the derivative of the inverse at 26. So first let's find that x value. So x cubed minus 1 should be 26. So x is 3. Then our derivative is 3x squared. That's it. We plug in our x value. So our derivative of our inverse at 26 is 1 over 27. Now for number 3, they give us x cubed plus 2x plus 1, where a is equal to 2, and that should be a minus 1. It does help to copy the problem correctly. Okay, so now we want to find the derivative of the inverse at 2. Okay, this is a little fun here because this is not quadratic, so we can't use our regular quadratic techniques to solve this, but I gave this one because I wanted to point out something cool. And that is if your coefficients, so 1, 2, and -3 add up to 0, that means that x equals 1 is your root, okay? So it's a handy little technique to keep in mind that if your coefficients add to 0, then your root is 1. So now we take our derivative and we get 3x squared plus 2. We substitute 1. And we get 5, which means that the derivative of the inverse at 2 is equal to 1 over 5. Number 5. Now some trig. Sine x. Okay, they've locked us into an interval from -pi/2 to pi/2, and our a is 1/2. So we have to find the derivative of the inverse at 1/2. Let's find our x value. So where is sine equal to 1/2 on between -pi/2 and pi/2? So our reference angle would have to be 30 degrees, which is pi/6, which fits right in there. So pi/6. Remember, all work in radians. Never put degrees in your papers, even if you think in degrees. So what is our next step? Our derivative is cos x. We substitute our pi/6. So our cos of pi/6, that's the cosine of 30, which is radical 3 over 2, which means that the derivative of the inverse at 1/2 is 2 over radical 3. It's up to you if you want to rationalize, but both answers are correct. Okay, number 7. So x is greater than 2, and a is equal to 3. So we're looking for the derivative of the inverse when a is 3. So x plus 6 over x plus 2 equals 3. Ooh, what do we get? We get 2x equals 0, so x is 0. All right. Now the derivative involves the quotient rule, denominator, derivative of the numerator, which is 1. Numerator, the derivative of the denominator is again 1, and then we've got x plus 2 squared. So in the numerator, I'm going to have 2 minus 6, which is -4. And the derivative at 0 is going to be -1. So that means that the derivative of the inverse at 3 is the reciprocal of -1, which is just -1.